Hello everyone, welcome back to another session. This is Sanyukta Saxena. Until now, we have explored some bit of brush pen calligraphy. Although I'm not an expert in the field, but I still, I think, managed to teach you some of the basic strokes. How do you have to use the brush pen to create beautiful letters, to write beautifully? Yeah. So today I will again run through. Today's session, I think I will run through all the lowercase letters, how to use the brush pen using the lowercase letters, and then we shall also keep writing some words in between. I think the tagging part is done. We have drawn quite a few tiles by now in this series, and let us now concentrate in this session and the next session on writing with the brush pen. Yeah. So as mentioned earlier also, you can either use the Koi, which is a thicker uh, brush pen. Yeah, it has a thicker brush, and this is the Tombow brush pen. Yeah, so I'm going to use the Tombow today, and let's see. I'm not very used to using it, but let's try. So starting with the small letter A, I'm going to break it up for you. Yeah. So it would be nice if you create this grid line. If you already have that print of the grid lines, as I mentioned from Sakura of America website, you can use that, or you can just create these 2 centimeter lines. Yeah, just for the sake of reference. So an upstroke, right, and then an oval, and then a downstroke and an exit stroke, what makes A. Yeah, so I'm going to show it. So this equals, this is the entry stroke, then you make the oval like this, and then the exit stroke, the downstroke and an exit stroke. Yeah, so that makes the A. So when you're drawing the B, again you'll start with the entry stroke, you will add an ascending loop, and then you will add a reverse curve, a reverse oval, I'm sorry, and then an exit stroke. Yeah, so what you will do is start with an entry stroke, an ascending loop, a reverse oval, and an exit stroke. Yeah, so again when you're writing C, start with the entry stroke, and just as you do for the oval, but an exit stroke, right? So you don't have to close the oval, you have to keep it open, and just an exit stroke. So this is how it starts, and then you go ahead and add the kind of oval, and then release the pressure for an exit stroke. Yeah, these strokes help you connect letters, so it's important that you use these strokes. Yeah, again when it comes to D, we start with entry stroke, then again an oval, and then again an ascending loop and an exit stroke. Yeah, that will make D. So start with an entry stroke, then an oval, then an ascending loop and an exit stroke. Yeah, that is D. Then we come to E, again an entry stroke, a thin upward stroke, and then just like we come down for oval, and then an exit stroke. Yeah, so how do we start? An entry stroke, a thin upstroke, then a thick downstroke, just like we do for oval, and as exit stroke. Yeah, so that's A, B, C, D, E. Then let's do F. How do we start with F? Again an entry stroke. For F we will do a ascending loop and bring it down. Once you have reached here, you just have to turn it like this, right? And then an exit stroke. That's what makes F. So an entry stroke, and then you have to add the ascending loop, bring it down, take it up. Upstroke is always lighter, downstroke is always heavier, and then an exit stroke. That's what makes F. Then we go to G, so again an entry stroke, an oval, and then a descending stem loop and an exit stroke, right? That's what makes G: entry stroke, an oval, a descending stem loop, and an exit stroke, right? Then we go to H, again an entry stroke, an ascending stem loop, and an underturn. I'm sorry, this is an overturn and an exit stroke, right? So this is H, entry stroke, ascending stem loop, overturn, and an exit stroke, right? Then comes I. I is again an entry stroke, a thick downstroke, an exit stroke, a dot. Entry stroke, a thick downstroke, exit stroke, and a dot, right? So this is how we write using our brush pen. So let us write a word. Yeah. So suppose we want to write, let us write the Bijuisms. If I want to write admire, or I want to write, yeah, let's see, admire. Yeah. So I'm going to write admire. So a thin entry stroke. Then the A, that is the oval, downstroke, exit stroke. Then comes D. So this entry stroke, this is the exit stroke for A and the entry stroke for D. Again an oval, ascending stem loop, exit stroke. First underturn, overturn, second overturn, exit stroke, I, exit stroke, again thin R. We have written R couple of times in this session, and then E. Yeah. So that's how we are going to write admire. So let us now proceed further and write J onwards. So when it comes to J, we will start again with the upward entry stroke, and then J will have a descending loop, right? And then an exit stroke and a dot, right? So this is how J will turn out: an entry stroke, a descending stem loop, an exit stroke, and a dot, right? Then we come to K. K will again start with an entry stroke, an ascending stem loop, and here there is a little bit of a catch. It will start something like this: thick and then thin, and then again exit stroke. I'll show you how to write it. Entry stroke, ascending stem loop, go up, press hard, again release the pressure, press hard, and then release the pressure, and an exit stroke. Yeah, that's K. So this is a thin stroke, this is a thick stroke. Again in the beginning it is a thick stroke, and then you again reduce it to a thin stroke. Yeah, that's K. It can be a little tricky. Yeah, you will have to practice. Again L is this is the entry stroke, again an upward ascending loop, right? And then it will just turn and turn into an exit stroke. Yeah. So L will start with an entry stroke, an ascending loop, and when you come down, you just turn it into an exit stroke. Yeah. Then we come to M, the entry stroke. Then M will have a couple of overturns, right? So the first will be a thick downstroke, then the first overturn, then the second overturn, and then the exit stroke, right? So when we write M, we will start with the entry stroke, and then a thick downstroke, and then the first overturn, and then the second overturn, and then release the pressure. Yeah. Unlike M, N will have only one overturn. Yeah, that's the only difference. So in N, we'll again start with the entry stroke, a thick down stroke, and then an overturn, and then an exit stroke. Right? That's what will make our N. So entry stroke, thick down stroke, an underturn, and an exit stroke. I'm sorry, an overturn and an exit stroke. Yeah. Then we come to O, right? O is nothing but an oval, so the entry stroke, and then you will add the oval, and then an exit stroke will be something like this, right? So you will press at the beginning and then release the pressure. So I'll just show you entry stroke, the oval, and then press a little bit here and then release the pressure. Something like this. Yeah. Then comes P. So I have shown you two types of P also. Again, entry stroke. So P will have the descending stem loop and then a reverse oval and then exit stroke. That is one way to write the P, right? So an entry stroke, a descending stem loop, a reverse oval, and an exit stroke. And I have shown you if you want to write the cursive P, then it can be entry stroke, an ascending stem loop, bring it down, and then an underturn and an exit stroke. Right? Then we come to Q. Q is again entry stroke, an oval, right? A thick down stroke, which is extending under the baseline, and then you just have to turn it and then an exit stroke. Yeah, just that, just the way we did for F, I think. Yeah, so entry stroke, an oval, a thick down stroke, come up, release the pressure. Yeah. So the letter R we have already written, starts with an entry stroke, kind of entry stroke, and then we have to create a loop there. So when we are creating a loop, we are taking a thin upstroke, and when we are coming down, we are pressing the brush pen a little bit and then extending it up. This is again a thin stroke, and when you are coming down, it's like a thick down stroke and an exit stroke, right? So little tricky, you will need a little practice. So go up, rotate it, while you're coming down, just press it a little, again go up, thin stroke, again come down, and then the exit stroke. Yeah, same is the case with S. A little tricky, you go up, and when you're turning, you create the same kind of a loop, a thin upstroke and a thicker down stroke. Again, you are coming down with a thin stroke, and then you press hard and you just take it up, something like this. Yeah, so it's kind of a different from the usual league of letters, the way we write. So S, take up, press a little here, release the pressure, again press it down, release the pressure, and again you can add an exit stroke also. Yeah, T is again simple. You can either just make a full pressure stroke and turn it and then a swash. This is one way, right? Yes, you can add the entry stroke also. Entry stroke, full pressure stroke, exit stroke, and a swash. That's one way. Or you can add the ascending stem loop, turn it, and then add the swash. Yeah. U is simple. Again, an entry stroke, an underturn, right? And again one more underturn, or you can say a thick downstroke and an exit stroke. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Entry stroke, underturn, thick downstroke, and an exit stroke. Yeah. Then comes V again. So thick, this is basically an underturn, and then we will again make this loop here, just as we did for O, we did for R, same kind of a loop like this. Yeah, so this upstroke, an underturn, and then just a loop. Yeah. Then comes W. W is again an entry stroke, so it will have a couple of underturns. So this will be the first underturn, then one more underturn, and then again you can add this, yeah, stroke. So entry stroke, first underturn, second underturn, and then just add this stroke. Yeah. X is again a little different. So the strokes that we would use is generally an upstroke, which is kind of a wavy one, right? And then we use a compound curve, right? So something like this, right? Consisting of an overturn and an underturn. So that's what, these are the two strokes we use for X. So this was the first one, upstroke, so thin one, and then a compound curve. Right, so that's how we use write X. Then comes Y, again an entry stroke, then an underturn, then a descending loop, and an exit stroke. That makes Y, entry stroke, underturn, descending loop, and an exit stroke. And then comes Z. Z is again more of a fun. Yeah, Z will start with a thin upstroke, then it will turn into an underturn, something like this, and then it will turn into another descending loop, something like this, and an exit stroke. So how do we combine these strokes? Underturn, again go up, a descending loop, something like this. Yeah, so that is A to Z of lowercase letters using the brush pen. Let us write a few letters, simple Bijoisms. For example, if you want to write saver, so S, start with an upward stroke, which will be a light stroke. Then you have to turn it. When you turn it, you have to add pressure here. Release the pressure, again add pressure. Saver, S, upstroke, an oval, downstroke, exit stroke. Then comes V. V, this is the entry stroke, again an underturn, and then again the same kind of a loop here, again O, so the oval, release the pressure, again same kind of a loop here, and then R, again same kind of a loop here, release the pressure, come down, heavy, and release the pressure. Right? So that's saver. If you want to write enjoy, again start with an entry stroke. The E starts with a soft stroke and then goes heavy, just like we do for oval. Take it up. Then comes N, thick down stroke, an overturn, again exit stroke. Then comes J, the descending loop, like this, the dot. Then comes O, which is the oval, and then press it here. And then the Y, which is again an underturn, thick down stroke, descending loop, and exit. Yeah. So once you know how to write these letters using those basic strokes that we learnt, yeah, you can easily form these letters. You can form words. Basically, the entry and exit strokes help you join the letters to form words easily. Yeah. Next session we will write some more words and also visit the uppercase letters. Hope you had a good time, enjoyed this session. Yeah. Bye bye.